Hi everyone, it's Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Play Dead Live. We got Jet, we got VOX, and we're in the Frozen Jungle. This is our fourth game in the Frozen Jungle, and it is getting better and better and better each time we roll out there. We did have a little rust in the last match, but you know what? That's all part of the learning experience. So we got some amazing changes in store for you guys, and I think there's going to be a few more that I will be announcing very soon. But you guys know when we make changes to the game, it really is about enhancing the gameplay, making it fast, fluid, and where players can just go out there and just let it all go. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of that shortly, but before we do that, let's take a look at a few of the things, the schedules, the standings, and all the stuff we got going on. So first and foremost, we got Ark. Ark had a big game. Sly, admittedly, they were rusty. They missed a couple moves. Ark pretty sharp. Ark at 2-0. VOX at 1-0. VOX is trying to protect home field advantage, but Jet is up and coming. Jet played an amazing game. Their first game, they only lost by 56 points. So I'm very anxious to see Jet traveling into VOX. It's going to be a good one tonight. And then we got Sly. It was great to have Ocean Man back. And you guys can see the schedule as we go through all December. Check the schedule out. We've got just Faction Wars only. We got the 19th, which is tonight. But then next week, we've got, you can see Monday the 24th right there on the left, we got Ship Strike. Now, if you look down at the very bottom, that little eye chart down at the bottom, you can see Ship Strike standings. Jet 2-0, Sly 1-1, Ark 1-1, VOX 0-2. So you've got Monday night, you got VOX and Ark, and you got Jet and Sly, the top two teams in Ship Strike, playing for those standings. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we don't have another faction war next week. We don't have another faction war until Wednesday, December 3rd. So after tonight, we got a couple of weeks off, everybody, from Faction Wars. We are going to have other events. I'm going to talk about that shortly. But when we come back December 3rd, we got VOX and Ark. Then the 10th, Jet and Sly. Then the 22nd, Ark and Jet. And then the 29th, VOX and or Sly and VOX. But you guys know, December is, what is December, everybody? What do we call December? Because there's not just Faction Wars going on. It is one specific month that we focus on. It is Championship Month. And that means we got Battle Royales. We got Death Drop. We got Ship Strike Championship. We got Pet Battles. So there's a lot of stuff going on. That calendar will be published. But a lot of your Mondays are going to be those championship type of events. So it is an absolute blast. Next week, as I said, we've got an event on Monday night. We'll probably do something fun on Wednesday. I know, some people are going to be cooking, getting some Thanksgiving dinner ready, but we'll probably do a fish strike or something along those lines. And then Friday, we've got our Black Friday sales event. There's always good bargains there. So if you've been waiting all year, saving a few pennies, looking for an opportunity to get an upgraded pet or some relics or a legend or a dragon, there's going to be some cool stuff on Black Friday. And we're doing it the same way we did the last auction. We're not doing the one we did last year. We had 6 hours. We're doing like an hour, hour and 15 minutes where I post it, you guys bid on it, we move on to the next thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This Saturday, epic box event. You're going to want to show up. There's nice door. You're going to want to be there. Good door prizes. You guys remember last time we gave away some great stuff. We will do it again. So that's PDL. I mean, that's what we got going on. So let's do the sliver spin. So we get that out of the way. You guys can see what we're going to be sacrificing tonight. That's always important. So here we go. Spin that wheel. What type of grenades are y'all going to be using to keep those slivers alive? It is. Oh my. Oh my. Not the spade grenade. Yes. The spade grenade. That's your firepower. It's also a castle grenade that you got to hit with. So, yep. Well, you know what? Just so happens there's a bomber bundle tonight. So now y'all know what y'all are sacrificing. So let's talk about a couple of the rules really quickly. One of the big rules that's implemented tonight, and I'll be, tolerant, but if you type a smoke and a spark, I will give you credit for whatever you type first. Okay? So some people are going to do it, but smokes and sparks are in the same bucket now. So you can only play one or the other. Major, major change. That's going to have it's going to have an impact on your health. It's going to have an impact on things that you do to people, like Gold Spark, like Max Spark. It's going to have an impact on Dragon Smokes. Like, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to plan out. So I do think it's going to change the game quite a bit. The other thing that we implemented is Goddard. So Goddard, both teams can still unlock Goddard, but the first team to unlock Goddard gets the 100 points. The second team doesn't. Still a good sliver killer. One of the other things we put in there, we're going to test this tonight, is with the captains. And again, I'm not going to be super, super strict on it, but I'm going to read your move. You know, I'll go through it. I'll read it out. You should be reading along too. And then I'm going to start to move the stuff and read it again. Now, you need to tell me hits or wait before I read it a second time. So a lot of these things are meant to speed the game up. So I'm not saying, does it hit, does it not hit? And then the other thing we implemented are summoning grenades. A lot of times I'm saying, okay, you threw a summoning grenade. Have you guys heard me say this before? Kel, what color is your orbital? Kel, what color is your watcher, right? You've heard me say that. So the summoning grenade is now going to automatically summon a gold version of it. So you don't have to worry about asking anymore. Bam, it's there. We move on. All right, so we got some cool stuff, everybody. Now, with all that being said, we do have a box event coming up. And Ron, when we do a box event, we do like to give away some packs and do something. So what time is it, Ron? Tell us. Somebody tell us. Oh, man, Ron, you had one job. It's roll time, baby. All right, everybody, give me a number from 1 to 12. 1 to 12. Everybody qualifies. I mean, these are for packs, y'all. These are free packs and box events. Everybody wants to get a hold of these. Legends. Amazing items. All right, I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to get your number from 1 to 12. 5 more seconds. Last call. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. I'm spinning it. Number is number 3. Number 3. Julie, you picked 5. You messed around. All right, one more. Number 6. Look at that. All right, we got Dr. Dye, Kel, and Trigger. Wow, come on, y'all. Really? The number that the most people pick, y'all making me give away 3 packs? All right, all 3 of y'all get a pack. Dr. Dye, Kel, and Trigger. Congratulations. Okay. Now, we're going to take you up to the Epic War Bundle. We're not going to make too much noise because we're going to make some noise for this Super Bomber. But a lot of these items by request. See, I hook you guys up. We'll start out with the Silver Bundle. We got Extreme Steel. That's a Milo in there, everybody. So that's one of your specialty grenades. We snuck that in there. So you get 1 Milo. Dragon Smoke. You're going to need it. It's dual purpose now, right? 5 post-battle pet revive. 1 carbine. 1 graphene. We got 1 of each of your waxes. Take it down to the red. We got red summon skins. Forced Flames is an amazing bomb. Forced Flames. You get 1 of those. Remember, bombs are 1. Enrage 3, Frantic 5, Savage 6, Mag 7, Super 8, Hostile 9, Super Thrill. Back in the main bundle. And we'll give you a Terror 10 because those are pretty strong. Take it over to the gold. We got Cruel Blue times 2. Encase Cliff. Cruel Red times 2. Smolder. Gold Summon Skins, Onyx Skins, and Mystical Glyph. And look at the bonus. A Shizzle Bomb. Now, with people only being able to play a Smoke or a Spark, Shizzle Bomb is even stronger. Because it keeps somebody from using a Smoke, and then you get to use 2 of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, take you over to the green. Energy Orb, Spider Silk Combat Orb. Max Seal Smoke, going to be very popular with the lower seal ability. Max Spark, Clone Smoke by request. Wonder who's planning to do something crazy with that. Blue Spark, Sparks are times 1. Mirror Smoke by request, and Platinum Skins. Take you up top. We're going to give you, hey, you know Castle Strike's for real because we're giving you 10 Strike Stones. How many of y'all are collecting those Strike Stones? That's going to be able to help you build up your kingdom. Mythic skins, colossal skins, pink smoke by request, and I think the most beautiful by far cape ever rolled out in PDL history. Look at the red wing cape. That is incredible. So, and it is H24, D17, B17, APR, armor pen resist 18, and sliver 6. You cannot use the sliver ability tonight because it expired with the last piece of gear, but the next match you will be able to use it. Kel, let's see what we got. Super chatted up. Let's see who all picked up these war bundles. And now, if you did not pick up this bomber bundle, I like Shaka Khan said, I feel for you. Shaka Khan, let me rock you, Shaka Khan. You know that song, right? This is good. This is a great bomber bundle. So I'm taking you to it because I said there were 4 bonuses earlier. There's really 8. You can take a look at the bundles. Trigger, Busy, Dimes, Valar, Doc, Lexicon, Bones, Jules, Ron, Justice, Football, Dow, Crimson, Jim, Cat, Pope, Flyrod, Nightshade, and Kel. And I got 2 minutes to get through this, but it's good. All right, look at this. That's your core stuff. That is the stuff you guys are using every day, like different combinations of events. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 grizzlies. Throw those grizzlies. You should never be throwing anything less than a grizzly because you're getting a ton of them. And look at the next row. Rapture, Oracle, Lithium, Seismic, Vapor, Snow, Jin, Red Eye, Top Hat, Whammo. 2 of each of those. Down to the bottom. 2 Unicorn, Grinch, Glitch, Milo, Maximon, Unforgiven, Trex, Summoning Grenades, Fade, and Sweet Tea. 2 of all of those. But there's more. How about the bonus grenades? These are 1. You get 1 of each of these, and it is a Sad Grenade, a Cobra Grenade, Dracarys Grenade, and a Trance Grenade. You get 1 of each of those. Well, I told you guys there were 4, but I lied because we're giving you 4 more bonus items. This is hard to get your hands on. The Satan Spark, the Snake Smoke, and Shaman played one of the best combos we've seen in a long time the other night. How about Rad Rage and R12? She played the R12 and then came back through a Rad Rage and gave her an S13 bonus. Yeah, Rad Rage is crazy. But you can't get them just everywhere. All right, Kel, let's see who got this bomber bundle and got all the extras in that. Snake Smoke, Satan Spark, R12, Rad Rage. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff there. I love the Rad Rage. Probably one of my favorite items. All right. Now, while Kel's super chatting that, we have got to get you back to the starting lineups. So, tonight's starting lineups. Give me your pre-match buffs. That is going to be Justice, Busy, Kel. They're playing Zombie Jet tonight. Ron, Crimson, Trigger, and Sir Tim. All of y'all give me your pre-match buffs. Remember, timers are not challengeable. And we'll be posting all the people that picked up the bomber so you can do your homework and due diligence. All right, Trigger, Justice, Crimson, Dimes, Jim, Cat, Julia, Football, Dow, Busy, Pope, Die, Ron, and Kel, all picking up the full bomber bundle. And then we got Bones picking up the half bundle. So do your homework, write it down. We'll see everybody's picking those up. All right. We got pre-match buffs. I'm going to take you down to the VOX Frozen Jungle. And tonight's starting lineup is as follows. We got, starting out in the DZ, Sir Tim. Sir Tim will be followed by Kel. Kel is the captain. She is the siege, and she is in the rover zone. Kel will be followed by Trigger. Trigger is the rover in the rover zone. We've got, after trigger, Zombie Jet in the bomber zone. Zombie Jet followed by Crimson. Crimson in the tank zone. Crimson followed by Busy. Busy in the DZ. Busy followed by Father Ron. He's the sniper. He's the captain. He's the siege. And going last but not least is Justice in the tank zone. And on the bench is Problem Child, who is the sniper. All right, here we go. The game is starting. 20-second timer starts right now. Sir Tim, you're on the clock. Timer is up. Nerf timer is up. I know he's here. VOX, do we have Tim with his move? Second timer is up. Hello, VOX? Ron, you there? All right, we've got a full nerf. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, I mean, we just had his buffs. All right, we got, I'm going to steal Kel's needle. All right, thank you for that, Tim. We got Tim. Negation 1, Busy, Slush 1. Boss to Main Street with a seal. All right, let's give him the seal. Let's give him a boss on Main Street, which is going to be played in 1. Cap in 3. Let's get that Slush Wand in play. Milo to the Watchtower. MD6. Sacrifice Spade. Kel says it hits. Thank you for that, on time. Milo to the Watchtower. Let's light it up. Sacrifice the Spade Grenade. And we'll add a little halo to that sliver. All right, so I'll read it second time. Steal Kel's Needle. Negation Wand to Busy. Boss to Main Street. Seal. E2 Milo. To the Watchtower. MD6 and a sacrifice. We got you. All right, let's go over to Kel. 20-second timer, Kel. Yeah, there is no ST. So that's why there's a wall, there's a straw man, there's a Watchtower. So I used my creative judgment there. Get into Rover. Go to their DZ. Kel with a tire. All right. Get into Rover. Go to their DZ. Immortal Woodrow with a seal. Trex to the wall. Sacrifice Spade and MD6. Ron says, wait. Playing Immortal Woodrow. We know Immortal Woodrow has his own seal. Gonna halt 3 times. All right. Ron, I appreciate the halt, but it's all in vain because Trex grenades take 2 blocks regardless. Little trickeration there by Kel. All right, get in the Rover. Go to their DZ. Immortal Woodrow, seal. Trex grenade to the wall, sacrifice Spade. But all the Trex grenade has to do is hit. That's a beautiful grenade. And it automatically removes 2 blocks. And apparently gets them to burn their halts. Sneaky, Kel, sneaky. All right, let's go to Trigger. Trigger, 20-second timer. Super fast, Trigger. Thank you for that. Trigger said, I'm going to jump into Rover. Let's give Trigger a tire. Let me read it out first. That'll be your first one so you guys know what we're looking for. All right, Trigger's going to jump into Rover. Go to their DZ. Dark Balls to the side chest. Steal Busy's needle. Seal. Top hat to the wall. Duplex. And sacrifice a Spade grenade. All right. Now I'm going to go through the walkthrough. She gets in the Rover and goes to their DZ. That is good. Dark Boss to side chest. Steal Busy's needle. Dark Boss played in 1. Cap in 3 could be worth a bonus 25. Seal, top hat to the wall. Remember, duplex, there's no sliver ability this week because of the gear. Going to sacrifice a Spade, which is good. And let's get that top hat damage resolved. So it hits, so she's going to light a watchtower. And taking out a black, 50% of a green, 50 green remaining. All right, Kel, Zombie Jet, what are we doing? All right, Zombie Jet is going to attack. Now, first thing Zombie Jet's going to do, because Zombie Jet didn't go to the Forge, see, that's why you do it sometimes and you don't. So they get a boss from Zombie Jet in 1 with cap in 3. Zombie Jet's also going to attack the wall, which is going to give them a green block and a blue block. Moving right along there. All right. And I do have to, Ron, I do have to remove Sir Tim's hit on the watchtower. And because round number 1, they have a zombie, it's called Beechnut. So it does fizzle. So we're going to remove that, and the DZ cannot hit the watchtower in round number 1. That is the Beechnut zombie effect. Give me a 999 if you understand that. Why I'm removing it. It's only in round number 1. Your DZ cannot hit the watchtower. Zombie effects. All right, cool. Just want to make sure we're up to speed on that. All right, so we got Jet Zombie. Does what it's going to do. Let's go over to Crimson. 20-second timer. All right, Crimson is going to get in the tank. She's going to move to the temple stairs. Immortal Grendel to the haystack. Play a seal. E3 Snowstorm to the wall. And sacrifice a spade and MD6. Okay, I read it the first time. Now I'm going through the move. So Kel will have till I get through the move. Get in the tank. And move her to the temple steps. That's Cannonball for Crimson. Immortal Grendel to the haystack with a seal. So we got an Emo Grendel. E3 Snowstorm to the wall. Sacrifice the spade. Now they do get that, but remember there's no black block there. So they don't get the effect of Snowstorm because the black block is gone. However, she does get an E3 and the tank gives her a E6. So we're going to take out the rest of that green. And we'll take out that green. All right. 3 down. And that's after their mass destruction is calculated. All right, let's go over to Busy, who has no needle. 20-second timer, Busy. Timer is up. She beats the timer. Posted as I was saying it. Thank you for that. Busy's going to summon Grendel. Play a seal. Navy Grenade to the temple. Mass destruction. And sacrifice a spade. All right, so let's get her Grendel in play. Let's give Busy her seal. Navy to the temple. So we'll put out that flame. And we're all good. All right, let's go to Ron. 20-second timer, Ron. Ron beats the timer. Thank you for that. All right, I'll read out Ron's move, and then I'll start to enact it. Ron's going to move to the sniper zone. He's going to play a gold Grendel to the haystack. Going to play a seal, a legendary to turn Justice into a warrior. He's also going to play an absorption, Navy to the temple, and MD6. So first things first, let's move Ron up to the sniper zone. Yep, it will be a mom to, you got it. Makes sense. Playing the Mask of Malice, not the Cape of Craven. All right, Ron, sniper zone. Gold Grendel to the haystack with a seal. Mask of Malice to Justice, absorption, Navy to the temple, and MD6. It hits automatically. I got to the end of the second one just before she typed it. So if she wanted to wait, she wouldn't have gotten it. All right. And final move of round one. Justice. 20-second timer starts now. Beats the timer. Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to read the move. Get in the tank. Move to the temple steps. Colossal Kang. Drop a seal. F5 Unforgiven to the wall. Sacrifice a spade. And MD6. All right, so we're going to put him in the tank. Give Justice Cannonball. We're going to move him to the temple steps, which will rotate him into the temple at the end of the round anyway. So I'm just going to put him there. There's no move after his. Ron says, wait. I am going to play his seal and his Colossal Kang. Sacrifice a spade. And on his grenade, they're going to play Dark Mythic Blue. Be the first blue of the game for Team VOX. And it's Mythic. So it will hit Justice and take out his Gear Absorption. First turn Gear Absorption. And it will carry over 10 points of damage to take him down to 90%. All right. At the end of round number one, a very good round and a very fast round, everybody. We're going to rotate Crimson into the temple as well. So we got a blessing for Justice and a blessing for Crimson. Neither team has a straw man advantage, so straw men are going to be 0-0. Neither team has a DZ advantage, and each neutralizes the other team. 0-0. All right, slivers. 20 points for VOX. 15 for Jet. All right, let's go to round number two. Sir Tim, 20-second timer starts right now. Beats the timer. All right, I have to scroll up to do one thing. Milo by Tim. Throw grenade. Trex by Kel. Nothing. Top hat by Trigger. Nothing. Crimson. Snowstorm. Counts as a throw grenade. Busy Navy. Nothing. Ron Navy. Nothing. And Justice Unforgiven counts as a throw grenade. All right, so Jet has one throw. Vox has two throws. Jet still has another throw to get to the hit. And Vox is at the hit level. All right, just so we're keeping up with that. Simple once we get into it. We got to remember to keep up with it. All right, Sir Tim. Needle to the haystack. Max Spark to Justice. Rage St. Milo to the Watchtower. And going to cease Kel. All right, I read it once. Now I'm going to go through it again. Needle to the haystack. That needle is going to be devoured by Busy's Grendel. Needle dies, but Busy's Grendel dies. It's off the board. Max Bark to Justice. Rage St. Milo. And Cease to Kel, which is Tim's last ability. But Kel gets one more ability for the rest of the game. Make it count. All right, so we'll put the Max Spark on Justice. And then we'll hit with the Milo. And remember, all the grenades are throw grenades, and they are universal. So that Milo is not just a throw grenade anymore. That was a rule change. It's now a hit grenade too. All four grenades. And if you want to know which four they are, look at your skull box. And I've got them listed for you. Down here and up there. Milo, Snow, Unforgiven, and Spade. Nifty, huh? All right, let's go over to Kel. 20-second timer, Kel. Beats the timer. All right, Kel's going to play Immortal Grendel, Fear Smoke on Sir Tim, F5 Unforgiven to the wall, and she's going to cease Trigger. It's the first time I'm reading it. All right, Immortal Grendel to the haystack. Jet has one Grendel. Fox has two. Fear Sir Tim. Ron says wait. Cease will be Kel's last ability. It means Trigger gets one more ability, and that's it. Rest of the game. So because Ron said wait, there's only two things that we could potentially wait on, which is the Fear Smoke and the Unforgiven. So I'll wait for Ron's response. Gold blue from Trigger. All right, does count as a throw grenade right now, though, even though it didn't hit. So do fill out that spot. Going to play the blue to stop it. I said I was going to start putting these blues down in the skull box to keep the map clean, and I will hold true on my promise. You can look at the top and find out how many you have left. Gold blue from Trigger is going to break Kel's seal. And going to Fear Sir Tim into the no zone. All right. All good. All done within the timer. All right, let's go over to trigger. 20-second timer trigger. Trigger beats the timer. Okay, triggers move. Colossal Kang to Main Street. Max Spark to Justice. F4 Snowstorm to the wall. And she's going to play the all-new Zenith ability to bump up her Colossal Kang to add 15 more points to it, which will make it worth 88. All right, now I'm going to go through the move. Colossal Kang to Main Street. Max Spark to Justice. He cannot move out of where he's at. He may not want to. And an F4 Snowstorm to the wall. It hits because I got to the end of it before she typed hits. So luckily, now we'll do damage resolution. After mass destruction, and there is no effect of the snowstorm, but takes out a blue block and a blue block, and it is the second hit grenade though, because it did hit. So they're one hit away from all the dragon windows being closed. Those of you watching, captains and otherwise, are you liking the new read it out and then get the hits and wait in quicker? I've already seen that we've saved almost 10 minutes in tonight's match so far. It is much, much more fluid. I woke up at 5:30 this morning after dreaming about this game with these implementations. So I think you see a much smoother gameplay, and it makes you guys play, get in the moment, and the games will end quicker. There's no doubt about it. All right, Zombie Jet is attacking. So Zombie Jet going to light up 2 watchtowers. Watchtower number 1, watchtower number 2. Zombie Jet is also going to play a needle. That needle is going to kill off Crimson's Immortal Grendel. So we got Kel's Grendel and Ron's Grendel are still on the board. All right, let's go over to Crimson. Crimson, 20-second timer starts right now. Crimson, or Trigger has no more abilities. Kel has no abilities. Tim has no abilities. We've got Quake beats the timer. Colossal Kang to Main Street. Gonna fear justice. F4 Spade to the wall. And Zenith ability. I've read it once. Colossal Quake is going to shake justice out of the temple, which means he also loses his tank. He's going to close off one section of that temple for 2 rounds. Colossal Kang could be worth 88 points because she used the Zenith ability. Fear to Justice will fizzle because he's not within range, because he was quaked out. But that's fine, still served the purpose. And F4 Spade to the wall automatically hits because I read it twice and she did not designate whether it hit or it did not hit. And that's huge because that is a hit grenade, Kel, which is going to be their final hit grenade. And the damage from that is going to be blue block and 70% of a red block. I got 30 red remaining. Yes, it does. Because it breaks the max spark. It doesn't deal damage, but it's one of the situations where it would break the max spark because there's not a temple chamber available for him to be in. It closes off that side. Good question, but he's really got nowhere to go. All right. Crimson beat the timer as well. Let's go over to Busy. Busy, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. All right, Busy's going to play Mythic Kang to the zombies boss. I get it. E3 Milo to the Watchtower and cease Ron. Okay? I've read it. Now we're going to go through it. Mythic Kang. Could be worth 63. Milo to the Watchtower and cease. Ron type hits before I got there, which is good because I'm ready to roll. So E3 Milo to the Watchtower. Let's light Watchtower number 3 and give them a Milo. And Milo is a hit grenade. So now we got some dragon windows being closed now. This rule change is huge. Because now you got to make a call, right? Or you got to sacrifice an awful lot. Because Goddard's going to get rid of 2 rings. Goddard doesn't kill a sliver, but does get rid of 2 and gives you 100 points. So it's not the end of the world. All right, let's go to Ron. 20-second timer, Ron. Oh, Ron says, let's dance, Kel. Ron going into the portal with all his buffs. What's the call, Kel? Dance alone, Ron. All right. Ron. White flag. Ron. Ruffled feather. Ron. MBS. Ron entering the portal in 2. We'll see Ron in round 4. All right, final move before we go to subs. Justice, 20-second timer. Justice beats the timer. Justice starting out with a Colossal Gideon. Super Thrill Smoke. Spade Grenade to the wall. And going to cease Trigger. But Trigger has no more abilities. So he does play the cease, but it won't matter because she's already been ceased. All right, so Colossal Gideon. is going to hit. Point deduction. Ron says wait. Justice is going to cease because Angel's not a valid target. I'll give him that. He's going to cease Crimson. Crimson gets one more ability, and then she gets no more abilities the rest of the game. So it would not fizzle because it was not a valid target because she didn't have any abilities left. Okay? So he's using cease on Crimson. Crimson will get one more ability in round 3, and then no more abilities the rest of the game. All right, Crimson going to prevent the Spade Grenade that is super thrilled as well. All right, prevention is good. Captains, give me your subs at the end of the round. We've got Crimson with a blessing. Slivers, we're going to remove 1 from each team. DZ, still 0-0. Strawman, 0-0. Sliver points, 20 points for VOX, 15 for Jet. Halos. Busy has 2. She's been in the DZ 2 rounds. Trigger has 2. She's been there 2 rounds. Kel has 2. Actually, scratch that. Jet has an advantage. So 25 points for Jet. And they light a straw man because they feared Sir Tim. So they have a DZ advantage and a straw man. And a couple dimmed Dragon Stones as well. Actually, only 1 dim Dragon Stone because Ron is the Sieger and Ron's in the Sniper Zone. So Trigger did not dim a Dragon Stone because she's the Rover. All right, updates are done. Let's get subs out. MPC for Justice. MPC is a sniper going to the tank zone. Sir Tim heading to the sideline. Nightshade coming into DZ. And just like that, we're set up for success. So lineups will be Nightshade, Kel, Trigger, Jet, Crimson, Busy, Ron will be skipped, and an MPC. So before Nightshade's turn, we're going to cap 176 points in Kangs. We're also going to cap the boss on Main Street. Now we got a 20-second timer for Nightshade starting now. Beats the timer. All right, Nightshade. Boss to Main Street. Seal with a Rage St. Milo to the Watchtower. Going to play Duplex, but remember, Duplex is not relevant because there's no Sliver ability. And sacrifice a Spade. All right, I've read it. Now I'm going to go through the motions. Boss to Main Street. Playing boss in 3. Would cap in 5. Playing a Seal. Rage St. Milo to the Watchtower. Kel says it hits, so we're good to go. Let's give it the hit. Let's give him the points for the Milo. They've already filled out all their hit grenades, so nothing to chart there. And sacrifice a spade. Now, I did not remove the slivers, so I'll remove the ones from last round, move it, and then he sacrifice one, put it back. And then for the other team, I need to remove it. So 3 blessings for Jet, 4 for Vox, but we know those can go fast, right? All right, let's go over to Kel. Kel, 20-second timer. Beats the timer easily. Kel, Colossal King to the boss. Pet Repel, E2 Trex to the wall. All right, I've read it. Colossal King could be worth 73. Pet Repel. And Ron says, wait, just before I read it. If I would have gotten to the end of it. See that? Ron waits on the Trex. Nightshade going to intervene. So Trex is stopped. All right, let's go to Trigger, 20-second timer. Trigger beats the timer. She's going to go Needle to the Haystack. Dragon Smoke the Castle. And Dracarys to the castle. Now, that is a valid move. But remember, if you Dracarys the same round that you smoke, it does not ignite. Smoke has to resolve. So it can't be done on the same round. So Needle to the Haystack. Needle is going to kill a Grendel. That's Kel's Grendel. The only Grendel left is Ron's. Dragon Smoke. Is played. And then Dracarys does hit the castle, but because the smoke has not resolved, it has no meaning and no relevance whatsoever. So it just bounces. All right, Zombie Jet. Going to light 2 straw men. All right, let's go to Crimson. Actually, before we get to Crimson, let's cap these other bosses. Hold up, Crimson. Because Zombie Jet, boss capped. $209 points in Kangs. Trigger's boss capped. So the boss game right now is 2-1. And there is a boss on Main Street. It's the only boss available. All right, let's get to Crimson. 20-second timer, Crimson. Crimson Busy and MPC. Busy and MPC will go back to back because we'll skip Ron. Timer is up. All right, Crimson is going to play. Dark Boss to the side chest. Pet Repel. F5 Spade to the wall, and as their final ability. You can't cease Justice because he's not in the game. So, because that's an invalid target, pick a target that you can cease. All right, I've read it. So we'll go Dark Boss to the side chest. Dark Boss in 3. We'll cap in 5. Pet Repel. Going to cease Busy. So Busy, you get one more ability on your turn, and then no more abilities. You guys can see how strong Cease is. Cease is great. And Crimson throwing F5 Spade Grenade, but she's got an E3 from that tank. So that is E8 Spade Grenade. And that's 30 red. Take out the 30 red. Take out a red block. And take out a red block. One red block remaining on the wall. All right, let's go over to Busy. Busy, 20-second timer. And after Busy, we'll have NPC. Timer is up. All right, gets her move in. Summon Mythic Xavier. Cape of Craven into a Priestess. And Milo to the Watchtower. All right, Mythic Xavier is a Rage Bank. Turns into a Priestess. And Milo to the Watchtower. That's going to like Watchtower number 4. Giving the points for the Milo. And that does give him a second hit grenade. Ron was on time with it. All right, and the final move of round number 3 is NPC. 20-second timer, NPC. Timer is up. Nerf timer is up. Beat the nerf timer, but did not beat the regulation timer. Move to Temple Steps. Morb to a Priest using a legend. Boss to the side chest. Dropping a seal. F5 Spade to the wall. And sacrifice a spade. All right, move to the temple. Temple's still closed until next round. Zoo's closed, Ray. Legend works. Boss to the side chest. Playing boss. In 3, cap in 5. Give her that seal. Sacrifice to the sliver. And let's get the wall damage with that spade. We are going to blast a blue block. Blue block, and 10% of a red block. Got 90 red remaining. And that's the end of round number 3. At the end of round number 3, Crimson with another Temple Blessing. DZ is 0-0. Busy with another halo. Trigger with a third halo. Kel with a third halo. Nightshade with 1 halo. There is no DZ advantage either way. So Strawmen stay the same, but Jet gets 15 points for Strawmen. Sliver, 20 points for Vox. 15 for Jet. All right, let's go to round number 4, final round of the first half. Nightshade, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Nightshade, Gold King to Main Street. Dragon Smoke to the DZ. E2 Grizzly to the Watchtower. And MD6. All right, I've read it once. Gold King to Main Street. Gold King could be worth 55. Dragon Smoke to the DZ. Relight that Watchtower. Or relight that Dragonstone, sorry. Grizzly to the Watchtower has no effect. Grizzly is not a specialty grenade. It is a powerful grenade, but remember, Watchtowers have to be specialty grenades that have triggered abilities. MD6 is good. All right, let's go over to Kel. 20-second timer, Kel. Timer's up. Did not beat the timer. Did beat the nerf timer. Colossal Watcher. That last spade did hit. All right. 1 sec. I want to check something here. Can we get a watchtower check and make sure that Jet had 3 hit grenades? I'm going to check with both teams before we scroll up. Anybody? Jet, VOX, either team? I think they have 3, so that dragon smoke will ignite. I'm going to double check it just to make sure, okay? Because it won't be challengeable once we go forward with it. So I'm coming up with 2. All right. Fox, if you guys want to scroll up as well, now I'm coming up with only 2 hit instead of 3. I mean, we can go backwards. MPC, spade grenade hit. That counts as a hit grenade. Busy, Milo hit. Counts as a hit grenade. Prior to that, Kelter Trex. No help. Prior to that, Justice threw a spade. It was prevented. Actually, the Milo hits. Hang on. Busy's Milo was the first one to hit. Okay. It's 3. Busy hit with a Milo. Then Ron went MBS. Then Busy hit with another Milo. Yep, it's 3. Busy Milo, and then Kel with a spade. Okay, we're good. All right, Colossal Watcher. Dragon Smoke to the tower. M7 Summoning Grenade to the wall. All right, so she's playing a Colossal Watcher. That's going to put a Colossal Watcher right there, Ron. And Summoning Grenade to the wall. And it hits. And it's going to bring out a gold orbital. So she gets Colossal Watcher points. And the orbital, if it caps, she'll get a gold orbital. All right, both teams have the watchtower and the smoke. Interesting. All right, let's go to trigger. 20-second timer trigger. Timer's up. Nerf timer is up, trigger. All right, she's got needle to haystack, thrill smoke, E3 draw cars to the castle. All right, the only Grendel out there is Ron, so the needle is going to be good. Trigger playing needle. In 4, cap in 5. Thrill smoke and draw cars to the castle. Kel says wait, just in time. Zombie Jet going to prevent it. So we got a prevention. She was quick on the draw. All right, speaking of Zombie Jet, round number 4, Zombie Jet taking out 2 red blocks. Let's go over to Crimson. Crimson, 20-second timer. Crimson, needle to the haystack, torment to busy, and unicorn to the wall. All right, I've read it. So Crimson playing needle in 4, cap in 5. Torment smoke to busy. And the S6 unicorn to the wall. Kel says it hits. And it does hit. All right, unicorn, Crimson, gold bar. Let's take out the wall and rebuild it. And the unicorn will take out a black block and give you a teardrop. Nice finishing grenade. Very nice. All right, let's go over to Busy. Busy is torment smoked. 20-second timer Busy. The temple chamber is no longer blocked. Temple is free. Oh, man. All right. Busy, going to release the snowplow. To Crimson in the temple. I've read it once. Snowplow to Crimson, it hits. All right. Snowplow. Going to knock Crimson out of the temple. And she has choices A, B, or C, and she chose to knock her out. And she'll get a wave award. Now, Crimson is frozen. She cannot be moved, or used to be waterlogged, but she cannot be put back in the temple. Busy with the wave award and freeing up that side of the temple. Ron, coming out of the MBS. 20-second timer, Ron. Timer's up. Does beat the timer. Ron going to go needle to the haystack. They got 3 needles, and they still got a Grendel out. Nice needle round for VOX. F5 Grizzly to the wall, and cease MPC. So MPC gets 1 more ability, and that's it. Grizzly to the wall. It is a stronger wall Ron, but he's in the sniper zone, so he gets that extra little boost. After mass destruction, green block, and a green block. All right, and final move of the first half. MPC, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Cyborg Cyrus. Move to the temple. Colossal Kang to the boss. Pet Repel and F5 Trex. Move into the temple is good. Pet Repel is good. Colossal Kang. Possible 73. All right. So a few things. They're going to play Diabolical to turn the grenade into a Milo. They're going to pawn off the Pet Repel. So Pet Repel goes away. But here's what's going to happen. First thing that's going to happen is Cyrus. And Cyrus is going to get rid of 3 blocks. So that is going to give them the orbital. And it's going to take 2 of those red blocks because they played Cyrus, not Hendrix. Might have been tricky. So we remove those 2 blocks. Then we reset it. All right, and then Cyrus will move a black block. So walls are even. Because MPC played Cyrus on that move, a gold bar goes to MPC. MPC with a gold bar. Now we get to the grenade. Playing Diabolical and flip-flopping the Trex grenade into a Milo. I don't know that that was a huge win, because now instead of 2 blocks, you gave them an extra 15 points. Ron's feeling friendly. He's like, hey, instead of just 2 blocks, let me give you a Milo and give you 15 points. If you lose by 15 points, Ron, this will be the grenade swap from hell. And it would have been 2 blocks, but it's still similar power. So green block and a green block after mass destruction. So they still get their 2 blocks down after Cyrus. All right, Cyrus takes down 2 blocks and then a third. Moves into the temple. Colossal Kang is good. Pet Repel is gotten rid of, and then the Trex grenades turned into a Milo. All right, with all that being said, captains, give me your halftime subs. This is an opportunity that I'm going to mention. I don't want you to dwell on it. I don't want you to think about it, but I do want to announce it. On December 3rd, halftime will not be at the end of round 4. It will be at the end of round 3. You will have a 3-round first half and a 3-round second half, and the ozone will be added, and there will be 5-5-5. It'll go 4-4-4, 5-5-5. So anyway, food for thought. Players will be playing 3 rounds, not 2. Okay. Hard not to think about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Dr. Die for Nightshade. Tim going in the ozone. All right. Let's do a couple things here first. So let's second blessing. MPC. Strawman. There was no advantage either way, so still 15-0. DZ. 0-0. Halo. To Busy. Halo went to Trigger. Halo to Nightshade. Halo to Kel. Sliver 20. Sliver 15. Elevation. Trigger lost her seal. Busy lost her seal. Nightshade lost his seal. Kel lost her Pet Repel. And her rover. Trigger lost her rover. Tanks were already gone. All right. Moving Ron back down to the bomber zone. Nightshade heading out. Dr. Die coming in. Kel heading back to her side of the map. I don't think we... Is Chad the only sub? Team Jet? I see the buffs, but I didn't see the subs posted. Both teams with sentry guns. Sir Tim coming in the O zone. All right, Jet Kell, Cardinal, MPC busy, Die. Crimson will move her down. And Trigger will move back over to her spot. And at the end of the round, we did remove a Sliver Blessing from each team. They each have 3 left. They're in the danger zone for sure. All right, we got 2 more rounds to play. Plenty of time to go. So before we start with Dr. Die, we're going to cap a 55-point Kang. And flag number 3. Flags are now 3-0. Or I'm sorry, 3-1. All right, Dr. Die, kick us off in round number 5, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. And Talon Crimson into the temple. All right, Cyborg cannot be used. Cyborg has to be used by round 4. Seal, F5 Milo to the Watchtower, Mass Destruction, and Sacrifice a Spade. All right, I've read it once. The order is Dr. Die, Kell, Trigger, Zombie Jet, Crimson, Busy, Ron, MPC, Sir Tim, and the Cardinal. All right, Kell says it hits, so we'll go through. We've got the Talon is good. Cyborg was missed. Dr. Die playing a Seal. Milo to the Watchtower. MD6. And Sacrifice a Spade. And she does pay the juice for the Watchtower, so let's go ahead and light up Watchtower number 3. It does have a, she had to pay extra juice because of the Watcher there, but she does get the points for the Milo. Good move. All right, let's go over to Kell. 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Kell's going to move to their DZ. Harvest Wand to rebuild a green block. Talon MPC to the temple. Seal and Thrill. Going to play her Lantern and Dracarys to Dragon Castle, which cannot be seen or prevented because it can't be seen. Ron says it hits. All right, let's get the movement. Movement's good. Harvest wand to rebuild. Green wands are off the board. Talon NPC into the temple beside Crimson. Steel and Thrill. And the very dangerous Lantern lights up and summons Goddard, 100 points. And removing 2 Sliver Blessings. Takes them down to 2. Before Trigger's turn, we're going to cap a needle. That's 100 points. $20 seconds, trigger. Dune to Strawman, Blue Spark, S6 Unforgiven to the wall. All right, I've read it. Dune to Strawman. We'll put out a Strawman. Kel says wait. All right, let's go ahead and put out the Strawman with the Dune. Busy. Going to play red-blue. First blue of the game for Team Jet. Red from the red-blue. We'll hit trigger and take her down to 90%. All right, let's go over to Zombie Jet. Zombie Jet going to light up 2 more watchtowers. That's a total of 6. Let's go to Crimson. Before Crimson's move, we're going to cap another needle. Another 100 points for Team VOX. We're also going to cap Crimson's Dark Boss, which will be flag number 4. And 20-second timer. Starts now. Beats the timer. Kruger and an M7 Spade Grenade to the wall. All right, I've read it. Kruger and M7 Spade Grenade hits. Just in time. All right. Kel says wait. Showed up just as I was saying it. Chad going to dynamo the watchtower to make it disappear. And the M7 spade grenade hits. Green block. Blue block. And 20% of a blue block. You got 80 blue remaining. It's after mass destruction, and she's playing Kromica. Kromica is the first dragon play. You see this little dragon icon? That's one dragon, means you can play 4 more. She gets the points for the Kromica. Nice move by Cardinal. Busy. You're up. 20-second timer, Busy. Busy going to summon Immortal Rocky. Play a Max Seal and S6 Milo to the watchtower. Ron says wait. Busy with the summon, busy with the Max Seal. S6 Milo to the watchtower. Ron going to Judas it to where? What's the target, Ron? To their watchtower. All right, Kel. They're going to redirect your Milo to their watchtower. Hits or wait? It hits. All right. Let's redirect it. We'll light watchtower number 4. And we'll give VOX another 15 points for the Milo. That makes up for Ron giving you guys the Milo earlier. Speaking of Ron, 20-second timer, Ron. Sorry, stop Ron's timer. Before Ron's turn, let's cap his needle. Needle number 3. All right, now we'll start Ron's timer. And he already has his move in, so he's good to go. Ron's going to get into the battleship. Kruger, Torment Chad, S6 Grizzly, and sacrifice a spade. All right, so I'm going to give him the spade. Torment the Cardinal. Kel says wait. So we got a Kruger and a Grizzly to the watchtower. And because Kel said wait so quickly, All right. Now, this is one of those cases of double mistakes. Ron got in the battleship, got the torment, but Ron also threw a grizzly to the watchtower, which is no use to anybody, but he did get a prevention out of it. Because MPC prevented the Kruger and the grenade. Some little things, right? But both were prevented. All right, let's go to MPC. 20-second timer. Got MPC, Sir Tim, and the Cardinal. Timer's up. MPC, nerf timer is up. And actually, I'm going to reset MPC's timer because MPC has a boss capping, and I should have done that at the beginning. So we've got a 73-point Kang. Second boss cap. And I would reset the timer, but the move's already posted, so no time penalty. So we got MPCs going Scold to Sir Tim and Unforgiven to the wall. Scold will give MPC a absorption automatically. Ron says wait. We'll see what we're waiting on. Gold blue from Ron. Final blue of the game for Team VOX. Scold will hit Sir Tim, take him down to 90%, and will light Watchtower number 7. And it is a red-blue, so red-blue to MPC will break MPC's absorption. Either way, would have done the same thing. All right, let's go to Sir Tim. 20-second timer from the Ozone, Sir Tim. Sir Tim is going to get in the turret. Ace to Strawman. Drop a seal, S8 Grizzly to the wall. All right, I've read it once. Get in the turret is good. Ace to the Strawman to put out a flame. Drop a seal. And S8 Grizzly plus the turret makes it a S10 Grizzly to the wall. Kel says wait. Cardinal going to prevent it. All right, so Ace will put out one of the flames. All right, final move before we get to Dragon Storm. Cardinal, you're on the clock. They got in the tank, busy. So it would have gotten a cannonball from the tank. Cardinal's going to get in the turret. He is tormented. Blaze to Strawman, Seal. S8 Unforgiven to the wall. Sacrifice a Spade and MD6. Now, because he is tormented, there is no S8. So Ron, it's going to be a regular Unforgiven with an E2. Now, you locked in weight. It's up to you. All right, Dr. Die is going to use Pain because you have no choice. You got to use the Legend. All right, so it is going to hit. So Blaze to Strawman. We'll light a second Strawman. E2 Unforgiven to the wall with Mass Destruction. Sacrifice to Spade. All right, so we're going to split it in half. One and a half blue blocks, 50 blue remaining. And there's 80 blue on the other wall, so we'll take down that blue block because there's only 80% of it remaining. All right, we should be good to go. After the pain. That pain is what the damage is. All right, we're in Dragon Storm, everybody. This is it. You know the order because we've done it. E3 is automatic with Dragon Storm. All bosses have capped. There's no needles on the board. We'll see where the points are going to come from. Good luck. Let's start out with Dr. Die. 20-second timer. Dr. Die. We'll see who has what left. Dr. Die going to release the snowplow. One was already released. So Dr. Die going to release the snowplow with a snowstorm. Since there is no black block effect, it'll take out 2 non-preventable walls. And before we get to the next turn, I got to move some stuff. All right, so here's what has to happen, though, because you had that teardrop. This is kind of bad luck. But you do get the blue block. And you have to touch this one, which means you do get the red block, but it already had a teardrop, so you didn't need to do much damage to it. But 2 blocks are taken out. Okay, at the end of the last round, Busy got a halo. Kel got a halo. Dr. Dye got a halo. There was a straw man advantage. And Jet got 25 points to 0. Straw man advantage is going to like straw man number 3, which means Jet got 15 points. The Temple, Crimson, and MPC. Sliver, 20 to 15. And each team removes the halo because of the end of the round. All right, so those things all would have happened at the end of the round. Remember, we got Dragon Rage, extra damage this round. Kel, you're up. 20 seconds. Beats the timer. Scold to Trigger. Dust to Crimson. E1 Milo. Scold to Trigger. Dust to Crimson. E1 Milo hits. Scold. Going to light up Watchtower number 8. Milo going to light up number 9 and give Kel the 9 award. Take Trigger down to 80% health. Trigger, you're up. 20 seconds. Beats the timer. Trigger can go Orcus to put out a flame. Super Thrill H9 Maximon from the Blind Date. Best name for a rocket launcher ever, right? That is a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Maximon. All right, I've read it. Orcus. Kel says, wait. Mortal Blue from Kel. All right, Orcus is going to put out a straw man. Immortal Blue from Kel is going to stop the grenade and deal 40% damage to Trigger, taking her down to 40% health. All right, let's go to Zombie Jet. Zombie Jet is going to light 2 straw men. Crimson does have the max absorb. We'll keep her at 80. Y'all see how one smoke or one spark going to make a big difference in PvP? Yes, it will. All right, let's go to Crimson. 20-second timer, Crimson. Who is dusted. Timer is up. Crimson playing Colossal Gideon. Max Seal trigger. H9 Unforgiven to the wall. Read it once. Colossal Gideon. Max Seal to trigger. H9, 10, 11, 12, Unforgiven. It hits. It's fresh red. Red block. And 75% of a red block. 25 red remaining, which is 1.25. All right, so we've got Busy and Immortal Rocky in the house. That went under the radar. Immortal Rocky is a flying Nolan. Busy. 20-second timer. Busy going to move into range. Cardinal's no longer tormented, by the way. Move into range. Immortal Rocky and Busy. H9 Unforgiven from Jumanji. That is a S12 from her rocket launcher, S13 with Ignite. And that will be 2 of them, Ron. Immortal Sonar from Crimson. Mythic Sonar from Ron. And Medic Page. All right. Ron, how are you going to split that up? You want to split both attacks evenly? Or you want that all to be from one attack? Kel going to add Intaglio to it. Playing one of their dragons. All to Busy. All right, S14 from 1. $45. All right. Play the Sonars. Both Sonars off the board. And then half the remaining damage going to Dr. Die. And that will break a seal with her Medic Page. %50 of a blue block was left, so 50, and then another 50. So Busy basically got a block. But Rocky is going to be the problem. All right, Rocky hits S14. Rest of the blue block. Red block. Red block. 25% of a red block. So 1.75 remaining after the dual shot. All right, we got 4 players left, and the game is in the balance. Father Ron from the battleship. 20-second timer. Woo, this game got close. We got a nail biter. Beats the timer. All right, remember, Ron cannot exit the battleship. So Ron is in the battleship in the sniper zone. Once you get in the battleship, like Hotel California, you can never leave, right? Ancient to Sir Tim. Mythic Gideon, Max Seal over to Trigger. H9 Grizzly from Patton. All right, he's playing a second dragon. Mythic Gideon. So the Grizzly stopped. Movement's good. Dragon's good. Pet's good. Seal is good. Into the move. All right. We got MPC, Tim, and Shad. So let's start with MPC. 20-second timer. All right, going to Talon Busy to the DZ. Super Thrill, H9 Seismic to the wall. Oh, Ron with the prevention. He had one in his pocket. Great move, though. Still need to throw the grenade. But Ron, tricky. He moved out of the harbor just with the prevention in his pocket. All right, Talon Busy to the DZ. Super Thrill H9 Seismic. But he did have to burn the prevention on it. So either way, MPC, smart move to draw that prevention out. And again, I don't know who's got what preventions left. You guys do, I don't. But sweet, sweet move. All right, 2 more moves left, everybody. Sir Tim, 20-second timer. All right, you got Sir Tim, max sealing himself. All right. Ace to straw man. Max seal, Grizzly. Kel says wait, and Ace was already played by Sir Tim on the previous move, so that move is locked in. So no ace to the straw man. The only thing that he has is the H9 Grizzly. Busy prevent the grenade. And the final move of the night, everybody, goes down to Chad. Cardinal, you're on the clock. Final move. 15 minutes early, everybody. Awesome, awesome job. Cardinal, bring us home. Ace to straw man, super thrill, H9 unforgiven to the wall. He says nuke it. And it hits. It's going to be a big hit, but there's only 2 blocks that can be taken down. So let's go with Ace. Like straw man number 5. And the grenade will take down 2 blocks, give Cardinal a gold bar. Rebuild the wall, because we have to rebuild it when we get to the blessings. All right. Couple things. At the end of the game, there is a DZ advantage. Jet 25, VOX 0. That will light Strawman number 6, but it will not give a 6 award. There is no award to the player because it lights up the 6th one. So that will be 100 points for Team Jet. Ron spent 5 rounds in the sniper zone. Let's give Ron a bronze star. And 50 points for the sniper zone. Crimson, 5 rounds in the temple. Golden orb for Crimson. Jet, all watchtowers lit. 100 bonus points. $20 points, Fox Sliver. 15 for Jet. We reset the walls. Let me reset all that wall. Now we've got 5 blessings. So we will take down the 2 blessings on the VOX wall, and it will take down 3 more. Over on the Jet wall, we'll take down 4. Jet actually won the wall game by 1. Interesting how those work out sometimes, isn't it? All right, I think this is going to be a super close game because you can look up there and see both teams scored in different ways. So everybody hold tight. Congratulate each other for a great game. First of all, this was the best, fastest game we've had, and I think they're only going to get better. There were misses on both sides, missed targets, cyborgs, a few other things, but this was a good one. So hold tight, everybody. I'll do the math, and I think it's a lot of fun playing faster. I think you all agree. We'll be right back. We had Ace Awards for both the Cardinal and Sir Tim. Both the Cardinals and Sir Tim got 25 points in Ace Awards. PCPDZ was 75 for Kel and 75 for Busy. Jet got the whole 150 points for the PCPDZ. All right, everybody, we do have a nail biter. I mean, it was an amazing game. It was both teams giving it all they had, and some teams leaving some stuff on the table. But here we go. So I'll give you a real quick recap of what we're looking at. VOX flag game. They had a 300-point flag game on the road. And one second. All right. Sorry, we're back. So VOX 300-point advantage with the flags. You get over to the walls. The walls, Jet. Good opportunity there. They were working on multiple things, kind of getting their points going. You know, where are they going to get the straw man? Where are they going to get the walls? Where are they going to get the watchtower? They ended up kind of splitting it up, but they did get a wall advantage, 25-point advantage. Then you get the straw man. So straw man, they lit it up toward the end whenever the little dude, the zombie, lit that up. But it took them a while to really get going. And the one thing that VOX was able to do is they put out a few flames, right? Once the flames got a little high, they put them out, kept it at bay. But then at the very end, then they ran them up and got the 100 points out of it. But overall, they only got 145 to 0. MBS, Ron, 200 to 0. So you can see at this point, we've got about a 300-point advantage with VOX. But then we had the Needles. The Needles were 300 to 0. That kicks the VOX lead up to like 600. All right, but then the Kangs, Jet had a slight advantage with the Kangs, about 50 points. But then Ron got 50 points for the sniper zone. But then the Watchtower was 325 to 100, so a 225 advantage to Jet. Then you got the DZ of 75. Then they had advantage on the timers. But overall, VOX still had a slight advantage, 2201 to 1897. But could they make it up in other places? Yes, you better believe Jet did, because then we get to the PCP points. PCP points. Big advantage for Jet. 2 gold bars, a cannonball, a tire, a wave award, an ace award, 150 points in PCP DZ. Goddard. Need I say more? 475 freaking points for Jet. But let's get over to VOX. Did they do enough? Well, they got a white flag. They got a gold bar. They got a feather, a cannonball, a tire, an ace award, a bronze star, and Crimson got the golden orb. But it's only 300 points. So now Jet added an extra 175. So Jet is within striking distance. Can they make it up in the extras? The extras are the bosses, the Milos, the slivers, all of the extra stuff. Well, slivers, they got 90 points. VOX got 120. It was close. But then you got the Milos, slight advantage to VOX. A Mythic Gideon and a Colossal Gideon versus a Colossal Gideon. But then you had a Colossal Watcher, a Gold Orbital versus 2 Dark Bosses and a Chromica. Overall with the extras, VOX 222, Jet 118. VOX with a slight victory tonight. Jet put it all out on the line on the road, 26-23 to 24-90. Congratulations, VOX. Went down to the wire. Jet looking good on the road. So I'm very impressed with what you guys are putting together in your strategy. VOX, great start 2-0. Way to get out, get after it. We finished everything, scores included, by 10:45. Great match. I am going to tell you guys, halftime after 3 rounds is going to change a lot. So start to think about that right now, which means players would have to play a minimum of 3 rounds. So, yep. Awesome game, everybody. Good stuff. I enjoyed it. We will see you tomorrow night for fish fights. And Friday night, we're going to be fish striking Friday night. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.